back. If you just tuned in, this is www.arkansasshowcaseradio.com show. And we're going to be doing another interview with John Hall from Orleans.
Woohoo, they're still the one.
Still the one. This should be pretty cool. I mean, he's done a lot. He's a congressman. You know, he's had hit records. He's performed with a lot and worked with a lot of people like Janis Joplin and all that. So
another smart guy.
Yeah, all these guys. Like first it was Huey Lewis yesterday, and you know he skipped a grade. This guy, he skipped a couple of grades, and he just gave up being an electrical engineer, I believe it is.
All these Cornell people, man.
Yeah, just screw it. I'm just going to go ahead and just form a band, and then
become successful, do commercials, whatever.
Yeah.
Bunch of losers.
Yeah, I mean, this ought to be pretty good, and this is just one of the many interviews we got going on. I mean, we have the OJ's coming up. We are having 10 years after coming up, and that's going to be good because, you know, they were big at Woodstock, and that's going to, I always like anything for anybody that's been to Woodstock. That's always interesting stories.
Yep, they have some TV people, we got movie stars, got David Allen Greer, all kinds of stuff just right around the corner.
So stay tuned and be sure to share and subscribe to our YouTube page. And then check us out on all these interviews are on www.arkansasshowcaseradio.com.
Now, who's coming up? Is it Orleans or Orleans?
Orleans. And it's John Hall. John Hall.
Orleans?
Orleans? Yeah, Orleans, I like them. They're still a damn one.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
John Hall coming up. www.arkansasshowcaseradio.com. Yellow.
Brad Doyle, John Hall.
Hey, Ron. John. I'm Ron. I'm Roy.
Nobody knows who anybody is anymore. It's 2021. We're just glad 2020's over. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, thank you. I'm, as good as you can be under these circumstances.
Now, what do we call you? Do we call you John, or do we call you, your congressman, or?
Call me John.
Okay.
John is my actual given name.
He goes, just call me President or King.
If you had a kid, it'd be Papa John.
I don't know. I was a congressman, and that's all the stress and work I want.
Oh man.
So now, did you ever have any aspirations of presidency? Did you ever think about going down that route?
No. I represented 650,000 people in the Hudson Valley of New York State, and that's more people than live in the state of Alaska. And, so that was enough responsibility for me, really.
You could have played your own music at your inauguration.
Writing songs, and that's what I'm back to now.
Well, that's cool. I mean, you've had quite a career. I mean, we was looking at, and it kind of made me feel inadequate in so many ways. I mean, everything you did, it seems like you were a success. I mean, you were great in academics. I mean, you were great in music. You was great in politics. I mean, what the heck? I'm trying to play a guitar, and it sounds like I'm attacking it.
You may address me as John the Great.
Okay, interview's over. Fine.
I'm better than some people and worse than other people. And, reality always lies in the middle somewhere.
So now, you said that you're writing music now. Any plans on performing once COVID restrictions are all gone or anything like that?
Oh, of course. Well, I've been playing with Orleans again since 2012. And, the band started in my basement in 1972, and we've been working off and on in different configurations since then. We have a new record coming out next year, and the first single from it, a song called Home. My wife, my first wife, my ex-wife Johanna Hall, and I wrote together.
Wow!
A Hall of Fame songwriter named Don Schlitz. That song is out now with a nice video to go with it, and that's going to be on this record. But it's a lot of things that are still. I'm actually meeting with my partner Lance Hoppen, one of the original quartet, this afternoon to talk about songs and plans for recording this next bunch of tracks that'll be on the album. So, we're working. We had a very busy 2020 booked, and actually had shows booked this year in 2021 from March on. But what we're being told is that they may not actually happen until summer.
Oh, wow.
when they start happening again, and maybe even later than that. Nobody really knows.
Now, you've had, like I said, a real successful career, but for the audience out there, might want to let them know how you got started in all this. I mean, you've had just a busy time as a musician, and a performer.
Yeah, well, I played piano as a kid and French horn when I was in high school band and all that, and went briefly to the University of Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana. I was supposedly on a physics track, but wound up staying up all night, playing in a rock band, playing in a bluegrass band, singing an a cappella group, playing marching drum in a football pep band, and just like whatever music I could get my hands on.
What was the name of the a cappella group?
Oh, I sing bass naturally, so that was where I tended to reside. I always wanted to be Little Richard, but I have a baritone voice. So I can try, but it's not the real thing. And then I wound up, playing guitar so much that I just dropped out of college and, started the band. We played on M Street in Georgetown when I was playing a place called the Peppermint Lounge. It wasn't the real one, though. It was an imitation of the New York.
It's a generic one.
But Roy Buchanan was playing down the street, and Lou Harris was playing at the Silver Dollar, and Nils Lofgren was in town playing, and it was a very fertile Georgetown music scene at the time. And then took a bus with a friend of mine to New York, started the band that played at the Cafe Wah, called our band Kangaroo. We were alternating sets with a group called the Castiles, which was Bruce Springsteen's band.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it was like all the teeny boppers from New Jersey and Long Island would come in to hear us, and it was an underage, no alcohol club. But we kind of learned, we learned about how to play and how to arrange and how to put bands together. And while I was there, I met Johanna Shear at the time, and we started hanging out together and got engaged and got married and started writing songs together. The catalyst for that was that she was a journalist at the Village Voice in New York and did an interview with Janis Joplin, and they hit it off so much that Janis followed her home to our apartment on the Lower East Side, and there's a knock on the door, and in comes Johanna with Janis Joplin behind her.
Holy crap.
And I had been writing songs where I was writing the music and the lyrics, and actually made a couple of records of them. But I played some for Janis. It was right before Christmas, and we were singing blues versions of Christmas carols, and just having fun. And I played a couple of songs that I had written for Janis, and she said, "Well, they're nice, but they sound like a young guy wrote them." And I said, "Well, I'm a young guy." So,
what a great ear, Janis.
She turned to Johanna and said, "You're a woman, you're a writer. Why don't you two write me something that a woman would want to sing?" And so we wrote this song, Half Moon, that Janis recorded on the Pearl album.
Wow.
And it was her last record before she passed away. And immediately that record went to like triple platinum or something.
Wow.
And it started off on our songwriting career in a serious way. I mean, I'd been writing songs before that. Johanna had not. She'd just been writing journalism and poetry and so on. But we started writing songs for Millie Jackson and the Times and different people. And then got together in the basement of, we moved to Woodstock. Another long story that I won't try to fit in here, but we were rehearsing in the basement of my house with Wells Kelly and Larry Hoppin, who were the other two guys, original guys from Orleans. And we just started writing songs for the gigs that weekend. We'd be playing a club or a college gig or a frat party or something all around upstate New York, and then the New England states as well, all drivable shows. And so Johanna and I we'd get home from a weekend of doing these shows, club shows, and the two of us would basically stay up all night writing for a couple of days, or all day, and the next week we would have new songs to do to try out on an audience. And,
Wow.
and that's the real proving ground. If you can develop your own songs that keep people from wanting you to play covers, then the songs, that means the songs will hold up. And so we did that until we got a record deal with Orleans, the band Orleans signed to ABC Records, made 2 records for them, and then were dropped by them and signed by Asylum Records, David Geffen's label at the time, and the first record we made for them had Dance With Me on it, and a song called Let There Be Music. That was the title album.
Oh, cool.
So Let There Be Music went on the charts first, and then Dance With Me came out second, and it was like, top 5 on all the charts. And it was an instant transformation. All of a sudden, we went from being this local kind of jam band. We would sing 2 songs, but we'd stretch them out and jam on them. All of a sudden, everybody knew one of our songs and was starting to look at the other songs. So that's basically how it got started out.
Wow.
So when you wrote songs with your ex-wife, when you tried them out, if they flopped and wasn't a big success, did y'all blame each other on that one? It's like, that was your song. That was horrible.
If a tree if a tree falls in the woods, and over here, is the man still wrong?
The man's always wrong, of course. Now there's,
Joanne and I, we're really good friends now. We have a daughter and a granddaughter together. A couple hundred songs we wrote, and we actually just wrote our first song in 25 years together this year, or 2020, I mean, and that's going to be on the new Orleans record.
well, now there's a little bit of a rumor about these new songs.
Yeah, it's we all live and learn. Hopefully, we do.
Now you can.
And I just like to keep creating. The lockdown has stopped most performances from happening. I haven't been on stage. Since last February, I sat in with Joan L. Mosser here at a club. I'm in Nashville right now, by the way. Still live up in New York, but in Nashville at the moment. And that's the last time I was on stage, was in February at Third and Lindsley, this club in Nashville. But it doesn't mean that the creative wheels aren't turning. I listen to music and I have ideas, and actually have a solo record coming out.
Oh, wow.
Single next month, and a album. That's the first track off this album.
That's very
Reclaiming My Time is the title, which will be out in May. And reclaiming my time is something they say on the House of Representatives floor when
Oh yeah.
one of the Congress people speaking. If I were speaking and somebody else says, "May I interrupt?" and comment on that, I would say, "I yield my time to the gentleman from Iowa," and wherever, and that guy would speak. And then when I want the rest of my 5 minutes back, I would stand up and say, "Reclaiming my time." I would add that, et cetera, and then when my time runs out, then they'll gavel me to silence and call on the next person. So it's a play on words. It's kind of, reclaiming my time in a way by, it's like, what would have happened? What music would have I made during the 10 years I was in elected office? That time I'm glad I did it. It was well spent time. I think I did some really good things that I'm proud of, and I certainly learned a heck of a lot. But I also, my energy was so totally concentrated on my duties that I just didn't have time to write or to record. So this is reclaiming that time too.
Well, now, John, I think that might be where some of these rumors about your new music's coming from. The word on the street right now is that you do have a new album, you have some new songs out, but the style of music's all in like the gangster rap genre. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm pretty much concentrating on it's actually, if you listen to Orleans, I mean, some of the things will probably sound like Orleans. I've made half a dozen or more solo records over course of my career, and there's some resemblance, I hope, from these songs to stuff I've done before. But there's also, I'm exploring some things that are new for me. And I'll send you, or have someone send you the Ann or one of our radio promotion guys send a new record to you when it comes out.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh, outstanding.
It's just I'm just always trying to come up with a new chord progression, just like In Search of the Lost Chord. I think a lot of players and writers try to come up with something that's a different twist on everything else, which, as we all know, goes back to Chuck Berry. But
So right
you
now,
listen to most rock and roll, you can hear Chuck Berry in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
right now, if someone did want to hear some of the newer stuff, is the easiest way just to go to your website, or do you have music out somewhere else?
Well, the song "Home" by Orleans is posted. If you go to
Perfect.
OrleansOnline.com is our webpage. Facebook is at Orleans Music. And the song "Home" is also on YouTube. To search for Orleans Home. Or Orleans Online is our YouTube channel. There's a bunch of videos up there that are new within this last year. But we post something new on Facebook every Thursday. It's
awesome.
either a new track or it's a live tape from sometime in the past that we just found or that somebody sent us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we have closets full of drawers full of tapes and discs and so on, and we didn't have time when we were traveling, going on tour. We didn't have time to go through the closet, but since we've been back, we've been finding this stuff, and everything from a show that we did in the '70s at a club at Syracuse University to 3 sets from a show in Tokyo in 1991 to performances that were done within the last couple of years that somebody taped, and they had good, 7 cameras.
That's awesome.
Sometimes you do a concert where they have big Diamond Vision screens up so the audience can see.
No.
The ones who aren't real close can see it. They record that stuff, and they have 7 cameras or 6 cameras being operated all at the same time, and they're usually pretty good shots. And we've managed to get a hold of some of that stuff and edit it together so it's very presentable. And every Thursday we put this stuff up on Facebook and YouTube. So we're keeping busy.
Now, let me ask you something. You had such a long and great career in so many different ways. If you could look back in history and you could change one thing, what would you do? And was there anything you would do differently?
It's an interesting conversation to have. I don't think I would change anything, because if I did, I would change everything.
Oh.
It's that old anachronism, time, the butterfly. Go back from the past and
Right.
step on a butterfly, and then when you come back to the present, everything's changed. I thought at one point when we were signed to David Geffen's label, Asylum, we were label mates with Jackson Browne and Joni Mitchell and the Eagles and all these wonderful people, and I was playing on Little Feat Records and Bonnie Raitt Records. I produced Bonnie's 3rd album, and it was I had all friends and musical compatriots in the LA area, and I seriously thought about moving there, and Johanna didn't want to, so we wound up staying in Woodstock, New York. But I've sometimes wondered what would have happened if I'd moved out there and been in the thick of that scene for a longer period of time. And I also, spent a bunch of time in Nashville, and have some really good friends here, and done some recording and songwriting here, and I sometimes wondered what the path would have been like if I'd moved here. But I didn't, and I'm happy with where I am. So, I don't really wish to change anything. It's interesting to think about stuff like that, but But no, I don't really want to change anything.
Now,
Outstanding.
hopefully COVID, all the restrictions go away in the near future. Are y'all going to start touring? Is it just going to be in the States, or are you going overseas? Do you have any idea where you're going to be?
We would like to go overseas, but first we would like to tour in the States. It's going to be a question of gigs being canceled.
Right.
Because we're booked pretty solidly from April. We have a couple gigs in March, but April on, we're booked pretty solidly through the end of the year and actually into 2022. But playing these gigs as we get closer to them. We just got, I think it was a couple of cancellations in March, and then we'll see, depending on how the vaccination program goes. I haven't been vaccinated yet, but as soon as I can be, I will get the vaccinations, and we're just being really careful and sensible about
Absolutely.
exposure to the virus. But sooner or later, things are going to improve enough that the promoters will think and believe that they can actually make money on a show.
Well, now,
Because if I'm the promoter of a club gig or a concert venue, I have to put out money to rent the venue,
Right.
to buy advertising, print tickets, pay, put a down payment on the sound system and the light system. And, and it's possible, most bands won't even, or managers or booking agents won't sign a contract without a 50% deposit for the fee, the concert fee for the act.
yeah.
At this point, the promoter's out a lot of money before the doors even open.
Right.
And so what a lot of the people in that business are dealing with is, the bands probably will be able to come and get on stage by, let's say, April or May, but are enough audience members going to want to come and
That's
sit
true.
in front of somebody who might be sneezing?
Well, I tell you, if you ever get hooked up with a venue here in Little Rock, you need to let us know so that way we can take you out for some of the best barbecue in the state. You're
Well, I'll
paying.
pick you up on that.
You're
Absolutely.
paying for it, but that's okay.
Yeah, and we'll definitely let you know.
Sounds
And,
good.
and I'm looking forward to it. I've played pretty much, and Orleans has played pretty much in every town. I think when we were opening the Jackson Brown and then running on Empty tour, we played in Little Rock, and I've probably been back there when I was opening the Bob Seger and Silver Bullet Band on the Distance tour. And, there've been usually we see a city for one day,
Oh,
or
well.
maybe 2 days.
Well,
Come in
hopefully you find your
2
way
days.
back here in the near
2 days
future.
if we need to do laundry.
Well, John, man, thanks for the time. You're fantastic. A lot of talent. I'm glad that you've had a lot of success. Hopefully you find your way back here to Little Rock in the near future, and we'll like to hook up with you. But other than that, stay safe in all the chaos
Right.
out there.
Thanks so much, Roy, and you too, and we'll see you on the other side.
Okay, thanks for the interview. That was outstanding, John.
Thank you. Well, I
John the
appreciate
Great.
it. We'll talk to you.
John the Great. Yeah, I forgot.
And, we'll send you the new music as soon as it's presentable.
Sounds
Okay,
great.
then drop us an autograph on it too, so we can put it up on our wall.
I will do that.
Sounds
All right.
great. Thanks, John. Be safe, my friend. There you go, John the Great.
Hall. Man, he can talk, boy.
Oh, he's a name dropper.
I'm sitting there going,
Wow.
I think my back has been paralyzed. But no, that was a great interview. And that's John from Orleans. And he was a congressman. Janis Joplin just walked in his house. Hey, you guys want to write me a song?
Quit stalking me, Janice.
Yeah, you're a young guy. I need you to write an old woman's song.
So
That's crazy.
yeah, as always, stay tuned right here. www.arkansasshowcaseradio.com. Got more interviews in the near future.
Yep, and I think the next one might be either Tesla or 10 years after, and then the OJs. Tesla.
Dude, where's
Signs, everywhere a sign.
And that is our last sign that we've got to go. So
And we're out of here. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Stay tuned, subscribe, and share it. Bye-bye.